Just 3 years after the commencement of the Assemblies of God in Australia, Pastor William Baker and his wife heeded the call of God to start a church in Hervey Bay. Both were in their 60s. The year was 1940. In the early days, the church would gather in a simple structure made of corrugated iron, but as the church grew, a stronger building was erected on the site at King Street in Urangan. Unfortunately, Pastor Baker did not live to see the building completed. Mrs. Baker, however, carried on pastoring the church for 5 years, and then at the ripe old age of 70, she retired from full-time ministry. Pastor Howard was working on a farm at Yarraman when he heard the call of God to go to Hervey Bay. An innovative man with a vision to see God's work flourish, he felt that the church needed to be in a more central location. In 1962, land was purchased at Torquay Road by Alba, and the church building was transported from Urangan to the new site. The King Street property was sold. Under Pastor Howard's leadership, a large block of land was purchased in order to set up a church campsite. The block fronted onto Stevenson Street and backed onto Neil Street. The Bayside Church and Convention Centre was up and running by 1965. Our church now stands on the Neil Street side of that block. Soon after, the Howards answered the call of God to go to New Zealand. Although their time in Hervey Bay was short, they left a great legacy and foundation for what was yet to come. While pastoring in Kingaroy, Harold and Ruth Engwich felt very strongly to move to the Bay to start a children's home. So in 1967, with 5 children of their own and only $40 in their pockets, they arrived in Hervey Bay. Full of faith, Pastor Engwich took oversight of the church, and with vision for the future, the Torquay Road property was sold and a block of land was purchased from the Bethshan campsite. This is where our present church now stands. The church on Neil Street was built, and within 12 months of its completion, the church was debt-free. Pastor Engwich resigned due to health reasons, and in 1981, Pastor Gordon and Marlene Carter and their 3 sons arrived. The Carters took on the pastorship of the church, which was then known as the New Life Centre. Throughout his time, Pastor Carter saw steady growth, implemented many new programs, and a new hall was built to accommodate. The Carters provided direction and stability to the church for almost 10 years. While living on the Sunshine Coast, a couple with the call of God burning in their hearts decided to relocate to Hervey Bay to take on the ministry at Bayside Christian Church. In 2001, Pastor Ross and Mary Lynn Davey came with a vision to see souls saved and set free and lives transformed by the power of God. As the longest serving pastors, they have seen incredible growth and continue to provide strong, anointed leadership with fresh vision for the future.